My name is Bob Glazer. I'm the founder of Acceleration Partners. We run affiliate programs for folks interested in running brand-relevant programs for companies like Target, Shutterfly, ModCloth, Tiny Prints. And my partner in crime today is Dave Naffziger. I'll let him introduce himself quickly.
I'm Dave Naffziger. I run BrandVerity. We monitor a number of channels, but paid search specifically for affiliate use. We tend to have a fairly strong hand in witnessing, I think, a lot of less than noble things in the affiliate space, and so we'll talk a little bit about that.
Great. So the session is ensuring incremental growth in any affiliate program. We're going to talk a little bit about what's not incremental growth, spend a little bit of time on that, and then talk about the things you can do. But in laying it out, we want to go through some of the things that you shouldn't do. We're going to try to leave about 10 minutes or more at the end for questions. Some of the questions that we get asked in the past are really good. I think would be helpful for everyone. So we'll kind of do the questions in a panel style so everyone can hear the answers. Great. So I like this picture. I use this to describe what I would call the first generation of affiliate programs. And this sort of summarizes in total how they acted. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I call Gen 1 versus Gen 2 affiliate programs. How many merchants are there in the room today? A lot. Great. So what we like to say is, I think, and I'll be interested to see how your vision of this changes afterwards, but there are a lot of programs operating in what we call Gen 1, and we think Gen 1 is coming to an end or should have come to an end a long time ago, and merchants are moving towards these Gen 2 programs which look and act different and add value in different ways. So what did first generation affiliate programs look like? Well, the management was often whoever was available in-house, kind of, hey, how about you take over the affiliate program and run it? Looks good. When we get to some companies, it's been passed around four or five times. Metrics and payouts. So I'll talk about this a little more, but I always use affiliate revenue with quotes around it, and we'll explain that. But the look was really about how much revenue is the affiliate channel doing and how many affiliates do we have. Really, the premise was more volume equals more dollars and higher commission percentage. Who are the affiliates? I think if you looked in the average program 5 years ago, 10 years ago, some of them this year, you'll see a lot of them have 95% loyalty in Toolbar sites and coupon sites. How are programs working with networks? They're working with multiple networks, often redundant providers that do the same thing, yet again under that sort of more is better mantra. And the transparency was little to none. I'll talk about how this has changed, but for some programs, or if you talk to people 5 years ago, I'd say, hey, what are your top 10 affiliates doing? And they'd say, I have no idea. So the result of this actually is, and we'll go through why this happens, but it's an expensive retention program that's masquerading as a new customer acquisition channel. Most of the folks who manage affiliate programs are doing it usually under the new acquisition branch. The goal of setting them up was to get new customers. So if that was Gen 1, what's the picture to describe Gen 2? This would be the revenge of the nerds. The finance guys and the data guys have gotten a hold of the affiliate program data, and they don't like what they see, and it's for a good reason. So how do these programs look on the same spectrum? Well, management's different. I think you see more experienced in-house folks who have held this title before and have done this job, or partnering with specialized third-party firms who just do affiliate programs and understand them, and working with the in-house team. On the metrics and payout, I think the 2014 word of the year is incrementality. How many new customers are we getting? How many of these sales are incremental? How many would we have gotten already? And a focus on conversion rate. And really, we want to pay for quality. And we like what this affiliate is doing. We want to pay more. So who are the affiliates? There's a lot more bloggers, platform tools, shopping sites, more relevant content-focused sites. Everyone talks about content, but a lot of times they're not supporting that with the structure of their program. And networks. I think fewer networks. In a lot of cases, bigger is not always better. I think folks they may have one network for one purpose, a special purpose, but most folks have realized that 8 or 9 networks, and even all the networks will tell you that 8 or 9 networks doesn't get you better quality. And there's a real difference in the transparency. For our clients and our brands, not knowing who your affiliates are and what they're doing is not acceptable. And there's just a higher level of transparency. You can't say, well, we can't explain our business model to you. I always equate affiliate programs to a franchise program. And if you had a franchisee and you didn't know where they were or what they were doing or a brand licensing program, it just wouldn't be tolerated. So what's the result? It's a smaller, often, program, but it's more valuable, and it's more focused on new customer acquisition and business development. So it's important to understand a little bit about how affiliate program economics work, how they're sort of stated and how they work. So say Acme Corp has $100 million in online revenue. Let's say that they have an unhealthy affiliate program, one that's really not creating a lot of value. And so it's 15% of sales, and it's a $15 million program. They're paying 10% of their commissions to affiliates. They're paying 3% of the affiliate revenue to the network. So 1.95 million, 13% of sales. Most people would be really happy with an acquisition channel that has a 13% cost of sales. But here's the reality of what's going on. You look at the data and you see that 75% of Acme's affiliate revenue is not incremental. And there are a lot of coupon sites and low-value sources who are targeting their existing customers and getting credit as affiliates for that. So how do the economics look like on this? Well, if that's the case and you're looking at just the 25% that's really incremental, they're paying $1.95 million for $3.75 million in incremental revenue. And that's 52% of sales, not 13%. And so we'd argue that that's $1.47 million in cost that they don't need to pay, and they can be better used in other channels or on other partners. So how does sort of all this happen? I think that most people operate, there's two attribution models that are most common out there these days, the all-in and the last-in. All-in's not great, last-in has got some problems, but last-in came from 10 years ago when there weren't all these channels, and everyone said, well, we don't want people setting cookies first, trying to be first, and then getting credit forever. So they said, well, last-in and closest to the sale matters more. And these were things where you have one in a month and 1 2 months later. Now the time is compressed. You can have someone coming through 3 channels in a week, and it totally changes the time frame of a transaction and the value of last in. So in looking at this sort of, is an affiliate program really a revenue generator or is it a cost center? So 80% of the industry's revenue today comes a lot from coupon sites. They're huge in all the programs, and there's different levels of value, and we'll go through that. But there's a lot of other low-quality sites doing things that borderline from just off-brand to cheating, and Dave will cover that normally. Many of these you'll see that are converting at 20%, which is 10 times a normal site average of 2%. That's got to raise flags for people, and it's usually achieved by targeting customers that are committed to buying in one way, shape, or form. And then the result is, again, it's not a lot of incremental revenue. However, there's real costs to running a program this way, and they add up pretty quickly. So how does this double counting happen? Well, you've got lots of people on your team. These could be consultants, these could be employees, and they're working on the different channels. So what happens is at the end of the month, everyone gets together, and the SEO team says, I did $1 million. The affiliate guy says, I did $1 million. The PPC guy says, I did $1 million. It adds up to $6 million, and the CMO comes in and says, guys, we did $2 million in revenue last month. So everyone's putting a marker in their channel, and they're coming in with their number, and they're not paying any attention to the fact that everyone else was in the clickstream. So it's really important as a framework for determining value to get your analytics right. So you want to identify all the channels that are affecting conversion. Could be all the ones we just talked about. And you want to get in there and look at different search engines, web to store, all the efforts you have in order to get the data to help figure out whether your affiliate program is working for you. It's a lot of disparate reporting. Like I said, people come in with different rules. There's Google Analytics report, which doesn't track cookies very well. It was related to affiliate programs. You have bid management systems. You have networks like a Share Sale or CJ's reports that based on their data. And then you've got vendors for retargeting. And then you've got all kinds of tracking pixels and tags. So I think, in order, this goes outside the affiliate spectrum a little bit to all channels, but you got to agree on a dashboard that helps define what success is for your affiliate program and your other programs to then measure things through that lens to know whether they're the type of behavior that you want. And this is the type of thing that analytics would uncover. This is what this mess looks like. It's all overlapped. There's 2 or 3 channels. And this part in the upper right here is really the incremental affiliate channel. Now, it's fine if affiliates overlap with other channels, and it's important, we'll talk about, to look in which way. But that's the purely untouched revenue from affiliates that haven't touched other channels. That's very different than the affiliate revenue number that most people are reporting. So as I said, it's a little bit of a misrepresented metric. There's another way of looking at it. This is kind of the typical clickstream these days. You may have someone go to an organic search, and then they came back through the branded paid search, then they got in the cart, then they popped out, then they looked for a coupon, then they came through an affiliate, and then there's a transaction. So healthy programs try to attribute affiliate revenue appropriately, and I'd argue that unhealthy programs count all revenue touched by affiliates, which distorts the overall picture. So if there's one concept I'd like you to leave for today understanding, it's this one, and this is the notion of demand generation versus interception. There's a lot of gross statements made in the affiliate space about X affiliate is good, Y affiliate is bad, and you can't make them. There are cases that we'll talk about where coupon is helpful, and there's cases where coupon is not helpful. But you got to look at your business and how it behaves in your customer. So this is a customer buying a commodity product. They want a toaster. They go online, they look for a toaster. They decide they want a Black & Decker toaster. Well, they look on coupon sites. Anyone have a sale of Black & Decker? They might look on Google, or they go to Target. And eventually, there's a couple of choices. One of the loyalty programs they're in, You Promise, is offering a 10% back at a store that has the toaster. Or Coupon Cabin has a great coupon on a Black & Decker toaster, and they're both partners with Target. So in this case, they're helping generate the demand. The person knew they wanted a Black & Decker toaster. They could have bought it a lot of different places, and these sites are sort of out there helping to drive demand and make a decision. And again, this is mostly around a commodity product that's available anywhere. So here's the situation we deal with our clients a lot, and that I would say that single channel companies that have large personalization elements, and have strong brands, this is where it's really different. So in this case, the woman's dreaming about the Tiffany ring. She would like someone to buy her, but we're going to pretend she buys it in this case. And she knows she wants Tiffany. She's picked out this gift. This is her Valentine's Day gift. She's ordering it. That was never in doubt. So she goes online, and what happens, and there's 2 scenarios. There are cases where there are toolbars, and she types in Tiffany.com. There are cases where there's toolbar and spyware that actually intercept her before she's gone to Tiffany.com, set a cookie for that affiliate, land on Tiffany.com, and now they're getting paid for that referral. One thing I would encourage you all is to always take the affiliate perspective in your program. If you have toolbars in your program, if you have things you're not sure, go look at the user experience on this. And Dave will show a lot of this in his thing. There's an issue of credit where credit is not due, and there's also how these things look and interact with your customers. I can tell you the brand people would go crazy if they saw a lot of the stuff that's going on in the affiliate channel. So we got one case where she's intercepted first. These affiliates now get credit and a commission for a piece of software that was installed on her computer, went to Tiffany and bought the ring. The other case is actually goes to Tiffany first, is in the cart, says, oh, there's this box about a promo code, I'm going to look around, and they find some coupons. And there's legitimate coupons and there's not legitimate coupons, which Dave will go to. But there's all kinds of stuff down here with affiliates where you've got forced clicks, and things where they're now taking the person that's in the cart and once again setting an affiliate cookie and getting credit for this transaction, and you're paying the same rate, or often cases more in this transaction, that you're paying to another affiliate who's actually convincing them that this is the ring that they want to buy. So it's really important to value the entire funnel and look at affiliate in the picture of that. So the notion of multi-channel attribution, it's really talked about, it's rarely implemented. It's the most talked about thing that I ever see not implemented. It's in works everywhere. But the concept is you either internally for your own edification or externally in how you pay out, move to something that looks like this, where the sale's worth $100, really we value the introducing piece of that as $50. There's some stuff in the middle, maybe social media or keeping them engaged, and then there's the closing, which tends to be a lot of the toolbar sites or their own CRM or coupon sites that are closing. But if most people were building a model, they wouldn't overvalue the closer as much as it is in the affiliate space. So I took a look at this from an analogy standpoint. I said, so what would happen to baseball teams if they just had great closers and no starting pitching? And this is the data from the 2012 season. And so the most expensive paid closer in the league were Jonathan Papelbon and Heath Bell. Now they had good seasons. They did well. They weren't terrible, but Papelbon's team was in third place, and Heath Bell team was in last place. The two guys who actually had the most saves in the regular season and won the World Series as a closer were paid very little. And the story here is you need to be a good closer, but you need to have the lead in the ninth inning to even be able to close the game. And that's where, if your program is set to pay out and only value your closing pitching, you're discounting the value of what it takes and which affiliates can help get you to that point in the end. So we've talked a lot about who's not a value-added affiliate. So I want to spend a little bit on who is. I believe that an affiliate to affect a purchasing decision, like we showed in those two slides, is the biggest difference between a value-added affiliate and not a value-added affiliate. There are also affiliates, again, who can help close and lift the AOV, but it may be different value. The ability to develop brand loyalty in a new audience and get in front of the audience that you want. They have that audience that you want. I think you don't necessarily want people who are going to go out and compete with your marketing efforts. You want to work with people who have the traffic and the psychographic that you want and say, you have these people, so we want to pay to get access to these people. We don't want to pay you to compete with our own marketing. I think it should be 75% new customer referrals. One thing I'll tell you, and one of the biggest misunderstood things in the affiliate industry, is the difference between causation and correlation around new customer referrals. An affiliate who's stuffing a ton of cookies for a site that has an average of 50% new customer transactions will look like they're generating 50% of new customers, because they're just stuffing cookies all around and half their customers are new. So you really got to understand what's new customer referrals, and don't necessarily associate the causation of a new customer with that they actually drove the new customer. I like affiliates who convert at the normal site rate. If the site rate is 2 to 3% and it's way below that, there's a bunch of concerns about, are they stuffing a lot of cookies? And if it's way above that, they're saying, wait, how does this marketing partner, without any of our conversion data or any of this stuff, convert at 10 times more than I do? And it goes back to the beginning, and the answer is they're finding and grabbing the customers that already know you and like you and are going to buy. That's the only way. It falls above standard deviations, all kinds of statistics. That's the only way to have conversion rates at 20 or 30%. I also think that you'll find that high value-added affiliates promote at the product level. We're kind of past the point of where you can just throw up a brand banner and get people to buy from that store. You find them promoting products and sales, and a sale more around a product. Hey, this product today at Target is half off, and it's always usually $10, and you'll see a big spike. Not promoting store-wide coupons and site-wide coupons as much. You'll see them promoting really products, and you can correlate their promotion of that product with an increase in spike. So what are some of the best practices to finding high-value affiliates? I like to bucket it into three things. Who likes you already? So go to your customers. If you launch an affiliate program, let your best customers know you have one. You can often sort of merge a referral program into an affiliate program and get a lot of value there. There's tools out there. Look at social media, who likes you, and reviewers and product reviewers. There's some tools out there to look at that and get that data. So who should like you? They have the traffic that you want. They're potential partners, complementary service providers. Again, there's great SEM rush to think about searches and keywords of the people who would like you as well. You can look at Lexa rankings of the site. There's a cool new tool called Group High, which lets you target bloggers and find bloggers who write about products in your area. And then there's reaching the affiliate community. A lot of people do that first. I think it's good to focus on a little bit of both. So that's PR announcements about the program, going to conferences, competitive research on how are other affiliates programs doing, who are their affiliates. There's tools out there to help you figure out who your competitors' affiliates are. And there's tools, forums such as A-Best Web, where you can launch your program to the community, and coming to Affiliate Summit and meeting with people really exposes you to the affiliate community. So one of the key things is run an affiliate program like business development. That is really what, these are scalable long-tail business development programs. They require relationships, they require follow-up, they require tiering your partners and treating it like you would business development. So in terms of structuring a program, I think quality programs need focus and talent. There's three things that I think a program needs to be successful. You need a good team. Affiliate management has a lot of different skills. You need creative, really good marketing people, and you need sort of quantitative, fraud, analytic-oriented people. Those often aren't the same people, so it takes some different skills. You want to focus on quality revenue and revenue that you understand. And again, you want to focus on cost management. So the checkbook of writing all bad checks to people who aren't being helpful, that's money that you could allocate to do higher payouts and commissions and bonuses and stuff to the folks that are doing the type of stuff that is much more on brand and that you like. So I want to talk a little bit about a program we've worked with for 6 years, Tiny Prints. It was one of the first programs to really focus on the long tail and content, and it won the Affiliate Summit Award a couple years back for Best Program. So there's been 75% average growth rate for 5 years. Be very wary of growth rates because often they come with the wrong kind of growth. This is with excluding a lot of typical players. But the cost percentage go down every year. So the ROI goes up every year. Every year we focus on new technology, get smarter about who we want to pay more to, who we want to pay less to. So the program actually gets more efficient. It doesn't just grow and become more expensive. There's a 4-person team, each with separate responsibilities. This is a big program. I find that often, if you look at these as P&Ls and someone says we have a $50 million affiliate program and someone's working on it a quarter of their time, you just can't expect a lot of quality around that. Think about how you would staff a P&L, look at the revenue of it and say what kind of effort does it need. I'd say the biggest difference between really good affiliate programs and not is that the company has committed the resources so that people have enough time to pay attention and do a lot of the things that we're talking about. So we have no loyalty or two-bar affiliates in the program. We like an affirmative click, and we're not comfortable with a lot of stuff that Toolbars do. Very limited coupon site participation in terms of the number of sites. You don't need 250 coupon sites in your program. In fact, you'll find they're most of your compliance headaches, and it will cause a lot of problems for you. And there's tight control of monitoring of them to make sure they're within the terms and conditions. Frequent quality communication. We probably talk with 100 affiliates each week. Some are inbound, but we're always making sure to reach outbound too. Just like you would in biz dev. Who are your big partners, and are you making sure you're following up with them? And then there's tons of new content. The companies are developing content, and you can get plenty of content out of other areas and social media and blog and repurpose to the affiliate channel, and they love when you give them ideas and content, and they're willing to promote it. So value the right affiliates. We don't pay all affiliates equally. I think that's one of the biggest hallmarks of a Gen 2 program. So we don't pay people more because they drive more volume. We pay people more or less because we value their activity a certain way. Two pretty unique things we've done to help support this. I mentioned this before, but I think everyone says, I want content affiliates, I want content affiliates, I want content affiliates. And then they have a program that has tons of coupon and loyalty affiliates that override all the content affiliates. So they get all excited, come into the program, don't perform, and leave. So you need a structure that mimics the strategy. So we did two things. We did a mid-cart checkout override system. So if affiliates that are tagged as coupon come into the cart at the last minute and there was a content affiliate already in that clickstream, we give the full commission to the first affiliate, and we do reduce the commission to the coupon site. We actually pay more, but we want to make sure everyone gets value. The second thing we did was a portable cookie system. We know that a lot of people on holiday cards work at home, then they work back at work, and there's multiple devices. So once you create an account with Tiny Prints, we do a second marker, and we store it with the account. So if you switch computers, we give credit to the affiliate. And again, sometimes the finance teams get in there. We said to one of our finance teams, hey, it looks like all the affiliates are coming in after 90 days. It's a really long sales cycle. I think we should extend it. They're not, they're doing all this top of funnel work, and it's just a long sales cycle. And the finance team was like, oh, well, let's not pay anything we don't have to. That's a bad strategy. You want to make sure that the affiliates you want to perform. And these two things have content affiliates doing really well in our programs, so they're loyal to us. Do aggressive recruiting. Recruiting is a hallmark of a high-value program. So focus on non-traditional affiliates. We focus a lot on schools and photographers and people who would do really well with Tiny Prints products but aren't the usual suspects. We go to conferences both like this and non-traditional conferences, blogger conferences, PTA conferences, places where not everyone's talking about affiliate, but the people that have the demand that we want are there. We look at what competitors are doing from recruiting, and we use tools to see who their competition are. Network advertising invitations, there's some really good things across all the networks around pushing custom invitations or invites to people. Be selective in this. I get tons of emails as an affiliate saying your site of X would be great for Y and it has nothing to do with it. So really you're better off hitting 50 or 100 people with a really good targeted message or a personal message than going for the 10,000 blast of everyone who's not relevant. And then frequent targeted activation campaigns, including prizes. Getting an affiliate in your program is half the battle. Getting them active is the second battle. If you can do them at the same time, you save yourself a lot of energy. Sign up for our program today and get a bonus. If your first sale or your banner's up and your first sale is in a week, get B bonus. If you can get them through that whole process, you'll save yourself a lot of time and effort. So with all the recruiting, we're super selective in acceptance. We decline 50% of people that apply. We have ongoing policing of going through the conversion metrics, the coupon data, and saying what doesn't smell right, and asking a very simple question, hey, what are you doing? And if you don't get a simple answer, then it's not usually a good thing. Dave will talk about this. We monitor affiliate for trademark bidding, which is key in any program, and I'll talk about why this is not helpful. And number one thing, just ask questions when you don't understand the business model. I think people will try to confuse affiliate managers with really confusing answers to really simple questions. I like the simple. So you told me that you're buying aggregated media on third-party sites and redirecting it to our site and whatever. Great. Do you have a screenshot of that? Just show me, oh, you don't know what sites you're buying the media on? You can't find it anywhere? Like, wouldn't you like to know where you're advertising? Screenshot, asking people for a screenshot is a really great way to see if their story holds up. So just quick summary, I think what we think has been a winning formula for this, which is individual order-based attribution, looking at the value of orders. We also, if a coupon site comes in by themselves at the last minute, and in a product that takes 30 minutes to customize, we pay them a much lower commission. Take that money, do it with incentives and prizes on the top of the funnel. Again, lowering the commission for partners who have a high overlap with the other channels, and we see them more as an assist than a creator. If one thing I can stress, a lot of people are throwing out the baby with the bathwater, and there's value to different types of partners. Some have no value, but you have to describe what value, whether someone's worth 2% or 10%, and it's usually not all the same. So we have the override protection, we have the increased commission, and we have no toolbars. And what that equals is high performance and loyalty from the quality affiliates that we're looking for. So that's a little bit on a high note. Dave will take us back down on a low note again, but the stuff that he's going to show you is really tangible and takeaway and how to identify these activities. And we usually have a lot of people running back saying, oh crap, I've got a lot of that, I think, and I got to look at it. So I'll let Dave take it away and then we'll answer some questions.
Thank you. Yeah. Just back a little bit. Yeah, I can tell. Thanks a bunch. So we'll walk through a number of examples where the affiliates might not be adding the full value of somebody much higher up the funnel. I think with a number of these examples we'll walk through, I don't think you should interpret it as them being no value affiliates. There's certainly a few in there. But there's certainly a handful where the full value that typically gets ascribed to the channel may not actually be present. So trademark SEO, I think this happens nearly immediately upon launch of a program, and it's triggered by user searches. So users, once they go through and go through a purchase, they'll see that coupon code in your box. The natural next step is to go and Google for the coupon code. Invariably, there's a whole host of affiliates, many which you know, some which you probably don't know, that are likely in the program, and they've optimized their site so users find those codes on their pages. I'm always struck throughout this process that with merchants who don't have pages with their own codes on them. There's certainly value in a third party like RetailMeNot sort of having the codes. It sort of provides the user with a bit of additional comfort about the source. But at the same time, it's relatively straightforward for the merchant to rank at the top of an organic search for the merchant's own coupons. I think you see some particularly interesting things as people take different strategies with coupons. Zappos in particular has a really creative one. They don't do coupons. And so you Google Zappos coupons, which I'm sure many users do, the stats sort of back it up. And the first page you see and the second and third page you see are pages on Zappos describing why they don't have coupons and why they don't have coupon codes. And that sort of drives the message back to the user around what to expect, and that helps them sort of shut down all of the other sites that are still organically optimized for Zappos coupons because they know people are searching for it. Once you get on the coupon site itself, the user experience can be spotty at best. I think there's a strong movement to use these click-to-reveal codes. So there's a code hidden behind something, and the action of clicking is what actually triggers the drop of the affiliate cookie or the merchant page to open up in the window. To what extent that's actually adding incremental value isn't necessarily straightforward and obvious. There's a lot of non-code-like stuff. In this second example, up to 35% off bundle promos. That probably hasn't ever changed, and that may or may not actually be there. It's sort of like, cheap socks at Amazon. And then there's a lot of expired offers. So I think as you work with your partners, you want to ensure that your expired offers come down so that users don't pursue them and don't wind up at your site expecting to find something which isn't actually there, isn't actually available. There's also this challenge around prohibited codes. This is sort of an interesting example. Marriott has a friends and family program, and it's really meant for friends and family. And as it turns out, their codes have leaked online. And so you can go and find a Marriott Friends and Family promo code. It's MMR. And you can go to the site and book through that code. You get a great rate on any number of rooms. But of course, Marriott, it's a friends and family program. And so when you show up to check in, and you're asked to give a physical evidence, there's actually a sheet of paper that they distribute that come with the codes. And so the user who thinks that they're so happy, they now feel ripped off. Because they get there, they feel embarrassed because they're presenting this, that they've checked in, the rates booked under this code, and the front desk person basically calls their bluff and gives them the full rate because they're not an actual friend and family. So this creates sort of a bad brand association with Marriott themselves. It's kind of bad for the coupon site as well, because if the consumer even remembers where they found it, what coupon site they found it on, is probably not the greatest taste in their mouth. I think there tends to be a lot of activity around the use of trademark in the domain name. And this top example, they're actually simulating an ad. So they're taking advantage of a loophole in the way that Bing and Yahoo police their display URLs. And they're pretending like the visitor is going, it looks just like an Old Navy site. So when you click that ad, you get taken to old-navy-coupons.com, and it's not probably where the user thought that they were going. Of course, the affiliate cookie gets dropped. The user is eventually going to find their way to Old Navy, but this particular advertiser in this particular site now has gotten credit for a sale that likely didn't really originate in the proper channel. We see the domain-based abuse happen across the spectrum. The moment that a site goes up in a program, there are affiliates registering typos and misspellings or buying them from other organizations that have typos and misspellings. And an interesting thing happens if you work with these organizations that already have registered these domain names. If they're upfront and are very visible with what they're doing, and you allow them into your program, you may be tacitly or explicitly giving them rights to use those domain names, and that may further hamper collection efforts that your legal team might try to undertake down the road. I think there's a great case with Skype once upon a time, a few years back. Skype allowed an affiliate in their program who had a very common Skype misspelling. At some point in time, after paying this affiliate sort of absurd amounts of money, Skype decided that since the domain was actually a misspelling of theirs, the legal background would allow them to go recover that domain name from the affiliate. And so they went and pursued a UDRP, which is this request process to go and recover a domain that's been stolen or misappropriately registered and used in bad faith. They weren't able to prove that the affiliate didn't have rights to the trademark because as part of their affiliate agreement, they had granted certain rights around use of the name, and the affiliate was able to defend themselves and keep the domain and sort of continue on in the program. So as you go through and launch and grow programs, keep a very close eye on the domain names of the organizations that are submitting the traffic to you or submitting the applications, and in particular, watch your referrers to ensure your brand isn't being used in there. Similarly, it implies a relationship which may not actually exist. So in this oldnavycouponscode.com, it might be reasonable for a consumer to think this is actually an official Old Navy site. It's got the brand name in the domain, and that tends to be associated fairly strong with actual ownership. Trademark plus bidders. So much in the same way that folks will optimize for the organic rankings for trademark plus terms like trademark coupon, trademark coupon codes. There are certainly advertisers doing the same thing. And you'll see a host of advertisements on many brands where affiliates are promoting codes that don't exist. So if this, there's a 30% off code that's promoted a few places here that actually doesn't actually exist. If you look at the Kohl's own ads, they're promoting a 20% off for friends and family. So can somebody really get 30% off by going through an affiliate site that they wouldn't give to their friends and family? The answer is no. Like, they're being misled along the way. And one of my favorite categories are the trademark hijackers. So these are folks who have learned that brand traffic converts exceedingly well and is also fairly inexpensive to purchase. And so in this particular example, it looks just like a blurb.com ad. It has the 5-star ratings from folks who have reviewed the store on Google Stores. But it's an affiliate ad. It's got the +1s, and a number of people that have +1'd it, but it's not blurbs. It's actually been displaced, and an affiliate has dropped in their own ad. The affiliate's getting paid probably somewhere around 10%, let's say, on the transaction, on average order value of, let's say, $100. So the affiliate's making somewhere around $10, let's say. And they're paying 5 cents a click or 10 cents a click. It ends up being sort of very, very costly to allow this activity to go on undetected. Loyalty and affinity sites are a tricky bunch. Once there's software installed on the user's machine, that software can absolutely change and impact the user experience in a big way. And the range of activities that these toolbars have been seen and spotted doing range from absolutely nothing when they visit the site through to sort of modifying the frame around the site, to replacing and modifying the site itself, making it look different in some way, shape, or form, through to automatically dropping affiliate cookie as soon as the user visits without telling the user that it happened. So we strongly recommend, as you work with organizations that have toolbars, install it and go visit your site and do it while you travel. Don't say do it just from your office, and see what it does to the user experience. I was testing a toolbar a little while ago, and we do all of our accounting at QuickBooks Online. And I've forgotten that I was testing, and I went to QuickBooks to go log in and look up some stat or something. And as it turns out, Intuit's got a great affiliate program. It's sort of well known. But the principal offer that they push to that program is for TurboTax. So I go to my saved QuickBooks Online login link, and the toolbar pops up and redirects me to the TurboTax login. And I actually was unable to get into the financial accounting system because of the redirects this particular toolbar was doing, dropping a cookie every step along the way. And so, the general point is make sure that you know the experience that your users are getting on your site, and look for situations where if someone's design team saw this particular this gigantic click this button, this a good inch and a half at the top of the page, sort of on brand, happening on their site, they'd flip out. Designers are super sensitive to things that sort of impact the experience, and the most likely users aren't having the most joyous experience as well. These software programs can have massive reach. I think, this is often promoted in a number of the loyalty sites and affinity sites, what the reach of their toolbar looks like. And it sort of can measure in the tens of millions. So it can impact a lot of users, and certainly something to ensure that you understand how it's engaging with the program and it's contributing the value that you'd like. Social media, of course, wherever there's users, there will be affiliates. And I think that's both a blessing and a curse.
I don't know how in the world this particular affiliate continues to run this page, but if you look carefully at the Walmart tagline, this isn't really on brand. And this is actually an affiliate link that runs through a coupon site and then ends up on Walmart itself. The last time this page was posted on was January 13th, a year ago. So this is a year old. And I've kind of been watching it over time, so I kind of get a kick out of tracking stuff like this. And the likes still continue to increase. So no one has touched this page. It says, save money, screw people over, and completely off-brand. The affiliate's still active in the program. The affiliate hasn't done anything to the content on the page. Nothing's been changed in over a year. And somehow people are still finding it and liking it and clicking it up. And obviously, that ends up creating, I'd say a concerning brand experience for Walmart and probably for users as well. It's kind of terrible. We see Twitter accounts. That same thing, of course, happens on Twitter. The challenge comes around what is actually the brand's own accounts and what's being developed by an affiliate. Obviously, you see 1-800-Flowers up there with a nice blue check mark. You know who that it is. But then you sort of see these sketchy 1-800-Flowers coupon with and without the space. One of those two was classified by Twitter as spam, which is sort of an interesting world. Like it won't appear in sort of any social media monitoring solution because the spam accounts get filtered out. But anybody that's following it still sees all of their tweets and all of their links get grayed out on site as well and aren't clickable unless you're a follower. And so the way these guys go, and they go and pursue followers using all the sort of +1 and follow buttons you see on the web. So they grow a following and is more or less invisible to a lot of organizations that might be looking for this type of stuff. And meanwhile, users probably think this is 1-800-Flowers. This is sort of a recent example that caught our eye just a few weeks ago. There's, on again, off again, ISPs do interesting and creative things to engage in the affiliate world. And it's universally, I'd say, concerning. This particular affiliate partners with local ISPs. They tend to be small, like rural folks. The guys who are doing the backhaul stuff, where you call like a conference number, and it would really be charging an obscene rate to the local operator there because it's in like rural Nebraska or something like that. So they partner with rural ISPs, and they basically set up an alternate DNS server. So this is when somebody requests, a user types in, let's say, autotrader.com. The request goes to the DNS server. The DNS server says, you know what, go to this page instead. They go to that page, it throws a pop-up, drops an affiliate cookie, and sends the user on to autotrader.com. And so this is what they see. This isn't coming from their site. There's no machine on their browser. You go and search. Like people are like scouring the web for like, how do I uninstall this thing? And it's nothing to do with that. It's coming directly from the affiliate. The amazing thing is this is so hard to detect. You have to be a user on this ISP to see this behavior. Otherwise, you have absolutely no way of knowing what exactly is going on. I mean, a toolbar you can install. You can test it, you can travel it. There's going to certainly be some complications there in validating it, but with this, you have to be sitting in this case it was rural Nebraska using the ISP to sort of see what the affiliate was doing. So generally speaking, these types of things are sort of very hard to actually verify. So what are the things that you can do to identify this type of stuff? Spend lots of time researching affiliates and their promotional methods. Like I really can't stress this enough. Bob mentioned this earlier, but you should absolutely know in sort of like plain language that you can explain to anybody in your organization what the affiliate does, how they promote you, and how users find that affiliate. If they tell you that they are doing something with an ISP or they've got some software or they distribute, just beware of things you can't verify. If it's not verifiable, the opportunities for abuse through that lack of transparency just seem to skyrocket. Your stats are a great source of data. So look for sudden spikes in visits or transactions or a conversion rate that sort of jumps way above normal. I think some of the coupon sites can sort of generate very high conversion rates simply because of where they sit in the transaction pipeline. But for sites that sort of pretend to be or seem to be content sites, 8% conversion rates seem to be like a near universal indicator of something that's very likely to be amiss. look carefully at the displaying URL, especially high volume affiliates. If you don't see it referring URL in the transaction, that's usually a pretty bright red flag. The first refer, last refer, there's actually some really interesting things that you can sort of come across by just looking at, like, well, how did this person first find my site? And then where were they just before they made the purchase? And if you're finding like big discrepancies across those two, that's also a sign that somebody may be getting in the way and doing something different. And then there tends to be a lot of these affiliates that sort of conduct shady activities will have sites that they present. So they're sites that they use to sort of apply to the program, and they may have sort of like cookie cutter content, or there may be duplicates. But look for these sites that, like, and we'll show a few examples in just a moment. But where you just look at them, and you sort of have a hard time understanding like where the visitors come from. Go use Alexa or Compete or Quantcast. They give you a good sense for whether they're legit, and if so, by how much. So we've seen an evolution in these sites that are presented as part of the application process. They used to look like this. I have no idea how this would ever get allowed into a program, but it happens a ton. Maybe someone's on auto apply or auto approve, or not looking carefully. But stuff like this, you see the link, but you sort of can't really construct a meaningful argument for why an affiliate would come here and what they would go and do from there. Another example, like there's a bunch of banners there, but there's a LifeLock banner next to a golf carts banner next to a fan. Like, it just doesn't make sense, like, why a user would ever come here and then end up on one of these sites to complete a purchase. These still exist, and they're still out there, and you'll still see them in applications, but we're starting to see things more like this. And it begins to look a lot like a legitimate coupon site. But there are a couple things when you look at this. There are 124 active coupons on this. As you screen through, the success rate is always 100%. It's the same merchant on the feed at the top. There doesn't really seem to be anybody curating or allowing comments. There's very little seeming to actually happen here. So if this person is driving like ridiculous conversions, and you're seeing really high rates and high traffic, it's a good time to sort of step back and ask yourself, what's actually happening here. You can easily imagine, put a different logo here, and this is a totally different site, as what we see right here. Like in this case, they actually have this little featured coupons box, but again, that sort of can drop in place or whatever. But this is an identical site. They even share the same little fave icon up in the browser bar that is just being used in the middle of. This happens to come from page search, where they're hijacking the merchant's display URL and then moving on from there. So that being said, I think we've got about sort of a little less than 10 minutes for questions. We'd love anything you guys have. Thank you very much for your time.
Just one quick thing in the last slide, just in case it wasn't totally clear correlation. We spent a lot of time in this. The use of front websites is a tactic that when affiliate managers are looking at affiliate URLs and looking at the source and trying to figure out where the traffic is coming from. In the past, if they were doing paid search or cookie stuffing or email spam, there'd be no source, and people start to ask questions. So what they do is they're doing something that has nothing to do with the site, and then they're redirecting. It's kind of like laundering money. They're redirecting the traffic through the site so that it looks like it's coming from a real website. So that is sort of the implication of how that is used.
And the thing I think to consider is there's going to be, you have to plausibly believe that a user would come to that site, and then you have to plausibly believe that a user would come from that site to your site.
200 times a day. You'll see, like, oh, this was 200 sales yesterday.
Yeah, I think you go look at either of those sites, you'll see they've got, and they're unranked in Alexa. If it unranked, I think means that they're out of like the top 10 million sites or something absurd like that in terms of traffic. And if they somehow represent a measurable part of your program, you can be fairly certain that it's likely fabricated.
If you have a question, they just asked us, because they're doing audio and video, that you just use the jump up to the mic in the middle. Happy to answer any questions about any of this stuff, or afterwards if you don't want it to everyone. Anyone? Someone brave?
Easy group. There we go.
It only takes one.
I have a more philosophical question. So wondering if there's any education to do with consumers about not wanting to use these sites. That's part one. And part B, if we do it as, what happens when you clear your cookies as a consumer?
It's an interesting question. I don't think there's a lot of education to the consumer because it doesn't affect them unless they're doing a loyalty program or something where this gets them cash back. And yes, if you clear your cookies, other than Toolbars, which could maybe come back, clear your cookies, it would wipe all of it away. The issue is most people don't clear their cookies that often because they lose all the stuff that they log into and passwords and all that stuff. So it's kind of a mixed bag when they do it. We got one more.
Thank you for the presentation. I had a quick question. You said how you kind of compare like first attribution to last attribution. Are there any like third-party tools that you guys would recommend to be able to take a look at that? That's my first question. And then same thing with the at checkout being able to kind of overwrite the coupon site, dropping them in and overwriting that attribution if they came in kind of last minute.
I'll take the first one. There are a few networks that have built attribution into the network and give you that. I think Link has it, ShareSale has it. I know some of the other networks are starting to roll it out. They'll let you see the click path with multiple affiliates. There's a really good tool called Convertro that a lot of people use that'll show you all the channels as a software as a service. From there, it tends to jump to much more expensive kind of enterprise software packages, but I think those are, and actually, some of the tag management companies, since they have all the tags, are starting to open up and show you all the cross-channel data. I think I've seen Tagman has it. I'm sure some of the other tag containers have it. Dave would probably know better on the second one.
Actually, I was going to redirect that one back to you.
that was on. Can you repeat the second one? It was.
Yeah, pretty much how you said that you built kind of a mid-cart checkout override system.
Oh yeah.
For one of your clients. Is that something you guys built internally, or did you guys?
So we actually initially we did in partnership with the network. That's something that the programs on the ShareSale network. That's something they have as a tool. So they have kind of a build your own commission rules tool that they wrote out in the last year, and it's really helpful. So people are using it in all different ways. They're saying, hey, if the average order value is higher, pay a higher commission. If it's a new customer, pay a higher commission. It's kind of like a whole bunch of if-then clauses to say, what's a good order for us, and how do we want to pay or not pay based on that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, great. Thanks. We'll hang around for a few minutes, and if you have any other questions, just let us know. Thank you.